Well, that was easy, but you know what's easier? Trading your skins at TradeSkinsFast.com.
Hello guys, and welcome back to another CSGO video, where today I'll be talking about the difference between opening a case whether you start with the key or with the case itself. Now quickly before I start, once more I want to mention that my gut knife marble fade giveaway is ending today in just a few hours, so enter it right now for your chance to win this awesome $112 knife. Now if you're watching a video a bit later on after the release, then obviously the giveaway would have ended, but I've given you enough chances, so hopefully you've entered, and I'll be drawing the winners shortly after it's ended on the channel, so don't worry, you won't miss out on that. Now if you have seen YouTubers do massive case unboxings, you'll notice sometimes they swap between opening by the key or by opening by the case. So today I'll be finding out which actually gives you the best chances of getting higher tier items. And so you may be thinking, has my man Alexjgate gone and bought 15,000 cases to open and to test the results? Well, no, sadly not. I'm not a money machine, but there is thousands upon thousands of cases on YouTube that have already been unboxed, so I've spent the last few hours watching hours of case unboxings and recording the results. I couldn't find it anywhere on YouTube or much on the internet for anyone who's actually tried to test the difference between opening the key by the case. There has been plenty of people who try and test the difference between the real case odds. They've opened tens of thousands of cases. However, the thing is, they don't actually test the difference between the key or the case itself. So let's begin with the actual difference between the two options. So to open by the case, you simply just click on the case and it selects a key for you, whether that's the first key or the last key or a random key. Now presumably it will just be the first one in your inventory, but it does select it for you, and so it only takes 2 clicks to get the spinner going. However, when you're opening by the key, you have to not only select the key you want, but also the case you want as well, resulting in a total of 3 clicks before you get the spinner rolling. Now obviously this may not seem like much, however if you're opening thousands of cases this will make a massive difference in terms of time, but I want to see if the results show whether the extra click is worth it or not. So for each type I recorded down 350 results, so that's 350 cases opened by the case first and 350 cases opened by the key first. And the data shown on screen shows the type of skin that the person unboxed, the amount that they got, and the percentage of the total amount that this represents. So straight up, the most important factor is the amount of normal mil-spec skins that were unboxed, and from my data, as you can see, opening by the case gave more standard mil-spec skins, which is a bad thing as it means there are less of the better tier items. And in fact, when you look at the data, opening by the key is better in almost every aspect. It has a higher chance of stat track blues, a higher chance of restricted skins, a higher chance of classified, and a higher chance at covert and knives. The only sections that opening by the case is better for is stat track restricted and stat track classified. So what does this mean? Well, overall from this sample it means that opening by the key is a lot better than opening by the case, as it gives you the best chance at something that isn't just a standard blue, so you'll be more likely to get purples, pinks, reds, which are usually worth more. If you're opening by the case, then you'll have a better chance at unboxing stat track weapons, but it will more likely be a blue, which is obviously worth less. Also at the bottom I have written the amount of non-mil-spec only weapons that were gathered by the time 100 and 200 mil-spec milestones were reached, and as you can see this number is higher on both milestones for opening by the key. So what this basically means is when comparing the two together is that opening by the key gives a higher chance at better items than by opening with the case, which is the goal when people want to open cases in big amounts. So put simply, if you want to get the higher tier weapons, then opening by the key gives the best chance, at least from the data I gathered in this sample. Obviously this may be different, but a much larger sample would be needed to test for that. So for now this is the best data I have found on this topic. Now market prices for higher tiers may vary depending on many situations, so this doesn't necessarily mean that opening by the key gives them more expensive items, because obviously it depends on what skins you get. It just means that you have a better chance at the rarer ones. The videos I used were ones combined from FaZe and Team Martin because they were the biggest unboxings I found on YouTube, and it was completely independent of who opened them, and I watched about 3 to 4 hours of case unboxings to get this data, and trust me, there's nothing more like Team Martin saying let's go boys after every single case.
Let's go. I'm okay with that. Hello. Hype, 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 hype. Let's go boys. We're back to open, guys. You guys ready? Woo. Let's go.
He was the only YouTuber who really seemed to prefer opening by the key, whereas the other guys preferred the case because it was much quicker to unbox for their longer videos. The person who opens the case should have 0 effect, as I just mentioned, so that's why I mixed FaZe and Team Martin data together. I have also linked all 3 videos I used for my data in a description, so if you wanted to, you can check through them. Now the reason I used these longer unboxings was because it felt more fair than searching up the best unboxings and just picking the best out of the lot. This way it was unbiased and purely based on the amount of cases unboxed unboxed and not the result. Now there was obviously one thing bad about my results, and that was simply the sample size is not big enough, as there are a lot of blank spots where there's no gathered data, which in the real world isn't true, as it is possible to unbox every type from either the case or the key. However, for just myself recording this data took me a long time, something like 4 hours. However, I'm hoping that this could possibly encourage other people to look at the differences between the case and key. So let's put this to the test. I have 2 cases here right now, this is live, and we'll be seeing whether the key is truly better. So I have to open by key first, because once you have one case and one key, then it will automatically select it for you. So let's see, let's open by the key, unlock container, we'll do the first or the second. Let's go for the second one. And this case is not something I like. There are not many skins in this that I really like. In the whole case for me, it seems that only the Blueprint, the Orbit, the Cobra Strike, the Hellfire and the Reds are the only good skins. I don't like any of the other skins, but either way, it's the newest case. I haven't unboxed any, so let's get some gloves. And we just saw the red and the pink go past, so that's pretty bad. And we got a briefing. Okay, so we got a standard blue from the key. So if we get any better, maybe it might be different from us. So let's open by the case this time. Is this the factory new Stat Trek gloves we've been dreaming of? Nope, it's just a standard blue. If anything, it's a worse blue, so if that proves anything or not. So whether you're or not, you're gonna be opening 2 cases, this shouldn't really make a massive difference. This will only make a big difference if you're opening cases in quite a large bulk, say like 10 to 100, possibly even more. So if you're gonna open cases in a large bulk, I would recommend opening by the key. Either way guys, I hope maybe this video showed you something, so that when you next go and buy a few cases, then maybe you'll open them a bit differently. But who knows, maybe this data is purely just a lucky sample and the true result is something completely different. Again, as mentioned at the start of my video, my giveaway is ending later today, so be sure to get any last possible entries you can, and good luck to you for when I draw the winners. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.